So welcome everybody to our Monday night call. This is a very, very special call tonight where we have an absolute rock star with Plexus. She wouldn't like me saying that because she's so humble. But we have Brooke Hemmingway here tonight. Before we actually go into introducing Brooke and all of her amazing accomplishments, I just want to ask if the name just left me.
Stella.
I'm so like, Stella, I am so sorry. She's going to say the team blessing. So Stella, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. We are a blessing to others by helping them achieve vibrant health and happiness. Those who are looking for that and an opportunity to generate a new stream of income are put directly on our path. And we have the words that flow with ease to offer it to them in a genuine and heart-centered way. We exemplify and model for others the team spirit of our community, and we have fun and laugh as much and as often as we can. We grow ourselves to become the person we have the capacity to be and the greatest expression of who we are. All things work together for our good and the good of others. We use our gifts to their fullest extent and feel a deep sense of purpose in what we are building here with this amazing team. And we achieve the level of vibrant health and happiness that we desire for ourselves. We can see that things always work out for us. We are so fortunate to be a part of Plexus. So be it.
So be it.
Thank you. So be it.
So
That is
be
such
it.
a great way to start our call. So I just want to do a couple of announcements just to make sure we're ready for the week that's ahead of us. So on Tuesday, tomorrow, we have our All Canada call, which we're going to do some celebration shout outs from Plexus Canada. So that's with Deb and Ken. And that's at 1 p.m. Eastern over on the Canadian Ambassador Community Group. So if you're new to this call here tonight and you have no idea what the Canadian Ambassador Community Group is, just ask your sponsor and they can add you to it. And that call will be live tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Eastern. And then we also have Silver Success at 7 p.m. Eastern. Silver Success is a great call from corporate to help you launch from silver to the next rank, which is senior silver or onwards to gold. The steps are all still the same, but it's always great to just see how other diamonds explain how to be silver and beyond. And that's at 7 p.m. Eastern, and you have to register for that, but I have it on the team page. If you just do hashtag events, you can find the post that I did today for all the announcements. And then lastly, I'll mention this, but then you can go see the team page. Wednesday is new ambassador training. Seeing as we had so many new ambassadors join us in March, it would be great for them to know about the new ambassador training. And it just gives them a little glimpse into some things that you might need to cover with them, but it actually takes the burden off you as new ambassadors. Sometimes yourselves, you don't know what's happening because you're learning as you're going too. So the new ambassador training from corporate is just a great little snippet just to kind of give them a little introduction, and then they can have some questions from that. So that's also a registered training from corporate, and it's 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night. Okay, so just go to the team page, Freedom Revolution, do hashtag events, and you'll see the list of all the other things there too. It's quite a full schedule this week, and you do not have to attend everything, but it would be definitely great if you could take in some of the trainings that corporate does provide for us, because it does take a great burden off of us in many different ways. So now I'm going to ask if Monique, she wanted to introduce you, Brooke, and Monique is almost Emerald. And she said to me, I would just love to introduce Brooke. And I said, well, why not? Because, you know, she's almost Emerald, and she works so hard with her team, and they are such an amazing, amazing team. And so Monique, you take it away.
All right, thank you. Oh my gosh, I am so nervous. I can't believe, like, my mouth is all dry because I'm meeting like my rock star here. This is so great. So this is just such a huge honor to get to introduce you, Brooke. It's kind of fun for me to introduce somebody who has had such a huge impact on me, and yet you don't even know who I am. It's just so great. So, like mine, Brooke's background is in nursing, and she had no previous experience in this kind of business, and she had very little presence on Facebook or any social media. But she started with Plexus in 2015, and she reached Diamond in 11 months. earning every trip, every top prize and incentive that Plexus could come up with. Then she re-ranked diamond again a couple of years later. So she has 2 diamond teams of her own. And then she helped her husband, who is a working ER doctor, also build a diamond team. So they are a 3 diamond team household. And she did all of this while raising 6 children. So you might wonder, why is she coming on this call or doing any of the stuff that she's doing still with Plexus, which is a lot. And what I've heard her say in her trainings is, why should I stop when there are so many more who could learn to create the life that they've always dreamed of? And that just sums up really how Brooke is as a person. She's so down to earth. And in her momentum movement trainings, she just tells it like it is, like nobody I've ever seen before. I just love it. And when I posted this event on my team page, I actually chose a picture of Brooke in her fuzzy pink bathrobe because that is how she rolls. She will stop and do a Facebook Live wherever she is and whatever the circumstances are to share the download that she's just gotten with us. And I've seen her do a live training once while she was doing the dishes. I just thought that was just the best. And I actually first saw Brooke at a Plexus convention. It was like 5 years ago, and I was a brand new shiny, well, I wasn't brand new, but I was a shiny silver ambassador, and I was attending my first convention. And I ended up in a breakout session that was actually meant for gold ambassadors. And I wasn't gold, but my friend Caroline snuck me in, and Brooke was presenting. And I was just instantly captivated by her because of this no nonsense delivery. And also she has an amazing gift of teaching. So after convention, I started watching her on all her Plexus trainings on YouTube, and they are all absolutely fantastic. So when Krista told us last year about the momentum movement training that she and Emily were going to be doing online, I jumped in with some of our team, and thanks to that training, Brooke, which I did in August, I ranked up to Senior Ruby in September. So huge thanks to Krista for telling me about that. And I've since done both of your other momentum movement trainings as well. And that has helped get our team ready to be going Emerald very soon, either this month or next. So I'm just so grateful and so excited to see you in person and to have you here. So thank you so much.
You're so sweet. Thank you for that sweet introduction. That was really, really generous of you. And I mean, I probably am just like, maybe for some people not super professional, and for other people they'd be like, I just love how real you are. I've had in the last couple of months times when I've been doing a Zoom, like literally for potentials, and my 3-year-old will bust in and say, I need to go poop, I need to go poop. And like, she's just recently potty trained, and so I can't really ignore that, and she won't let anybody help her but me. And so I just keep going without skipping a beat. And I just take that phone right into the bathroom and I prop it up on the sink, and I just keep talking as if nothing is happening. And it's always really fun to watch like the comments in the chat, because like people actually love it, because it's just real. It's just real life. And, I could come here like perfectly dressed and perfectly put together, but I have my swimsuit on and my cover up on. I did wash my hair for you guys, and I did put hoop earrings in. So I'm really fancy tonight for you, especially. I've got my diamond look on tonight with the diamond life. But anyway, I just want to tell you a little bit about my story from my perspective, in case you aren't really familiar with me. So I moved around a lot growing up. My dad was a university professor in business and economics, which is hilarious because I never had any interest in anything business, anything economics, anything sales, anything remotely related to something like this. Okay. I was a music major and I loved music, and I thought I would like sing on stage. And then I gave up that dream when I was in college, my second year of college, because I just decided that that really wasn't practical. That's when I sort of stopped dreaming. It was maybe around the age of like 18, 19, 20. I just decided, well, dreams are silly. They're for little girls, and you just need to pick something practical. And so I went back to school because I had always been interested in health, and I did fitness for a long time. And I went back and I got my degree in nursing because it seemed like a sensible thing to do. And I'm very, very grateful for that knowledge and the 10 years that I spent working in the ICU. and the 20 plus years I spent in fitness, because I feel like everything folds together for your experience and for your learning. And I loved your team blessing, because I really feel like whatever your life experience is, all the things that you have learned have brought you here. And so you have all these unique layers and layers of life experience that are going to make you fantastic at this business and fantastic at doing what you want to do in Plexus. And so I'm grateful for that experience that I had, but I really was not super passionate. I'd lost my passion for being a nurse. And so I stopped working as a nurse about 6 years ago, before Plexus even fell into my lap. I hadn't started Plexus. My friend Amy had asked me about Plexus a couple of times. I told her no for a year, or ignored her messages for a year. I wasn't interested. I was like a lot of people that put on a facade and pretend like we feel good and pretend like we're happy and pretend like everything is fine. Can anyone relate? I mean, anyone here ever just pretend like everything's great? Life's amazing. Well, really, from the time I was about 16 or 17 years old, now that I think about it, I struggled with anxiety. I struggled with depression. And it's in my family history, especially on my father's side, who passed away about 7 years ago. And so I really was struggling a lot with mood. And I found myself also struggling a lot with energy, and just really dragging in my life and in my energy. And I finally got to this point of humility, is what I say, where I was like, well, I mean, maybe I don't know everything, because I actually just thought I knew everything about health and wellness. But the fact is, I didn't feel good. And so finally, after a year of reaching out to me and developing relationship, I messaged her late one night and said, I think I need to try your stuff. So that's the first lesson, is like, never give up on anyone. If you really, really want them, be in it for the long haul. It might take a year, it might take 2, it might take 3, it might take 5, but because she stuck with it, she got me. And I have been with her and loyal to this from the day I started. Like, I'm just, loyalty is my thing. And so I decided to do it, and I just decided to do it all the way. When I started Plexus, I was not starting for a business, though. It really was just my lifeline for my health. I had just given birth to my 5th baby. She was 6 weeks old. I didn't even wait for my products to come. I drove to Amy's house and I picked up an extra set that she had. I started them that night. That's how much I needed the products. And within a week, I noticed a difference, and I did my first post. I still have that picture saved of me holding my like 7-week-old on my hip and with my little pink drink. And I put that post up, and I had several mom friends reach out to me. Now, keep in mind, I had 150 Facebook friends at the time. I was not active on social media, and I wasn't on Instagram at all until I was a Sapphire. I stayed mostly off social media. It really overwhelmed me. I didn't feel like I was good enough at that kind of stuff. Like, I watched people that did social media, and they always looked cute, and they had this like beautiful feed, and like their family life, everything looked so perfect, right? We see that. So we're like, oh my gosh, what do I have to offer? So I was just the girl that like watched other stuff on Facebook. And I put that post up, and I realized that I wasn't alone. I realized that I was not the only person that struggled. And I think all of us can relate to that. As we've shared Plexus, we realize, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person that struggles with this thing. And when you feel that way, even in your business, sometimes you feel like, I'm the only person that gets told no. I'm the only person that can't rank advance. I'm the only person that can't find a business builder. No, you're not. If you tell yourself that, you're just putting yourself in isolation prison, like by choice, because guarantee there are people on your team and outside of your team that struggle with the same difficulties that you do. So when you feel alone, just remember me telling you, you're not the only person that has struggled with that. And because there have been others that have come before, you can do the same thing. And so basically this was, I think I joined in September. I went silver in October. I went gold in December. And then I ranked pretty much every month, with a couple months in between to sapphire and to diamond. So it went really, really fast. And I don't even really know what hit me or what happened. I remember the day that I went diamond, my mom was visiting me, and she had no idea what this, like, she was like, it was this little Plexus thing that I was doing. Like, she just didn't really get it. And we were at Ross's because she wanted to go to Ross. And I remember the fuzzy, hideous chair that I sat on when I updated my virtual office and it said 4,500 points. And I just started crying. And I think my mom then realized, oh, maybe this is a big deal. Like maybe this is, you know, and I have myself to blame for that a little bit because I didn't really share my dreams. I didn't really share the things that were important to me. And I think part of the reason why I didn't is because I was afraid, what if it didn't happen? What if I can't actually do this? What if I tell them and I fail and I don't do it? And since then, I've changed my perspective to be like, I'm always going to tell people like what I'm doing. I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to let people know because like, it's okay if I fail publicly. It's okay if I don't reach it. Like I just want to be somebody that goes for it. I just want to be somebody that just keeps showing what's possible. And I was talking to Sylvia Porter, who's a new diamond as well. And this last year, I was talking to her the other day, and she's like, honestly, she's like, I mean, I'm just wondering why you do all this stuff because I do a lot of different stuff like momentum movement. And I said, the thing that really drives me, and I want you to think about this as well, is the thing that really drives me at this point is impact. So I want to leave an impact and I want people to know that they're good enough. I want people to know that they're good enough to do whatever it is that has been placed on their heart and whatever their dream is or their desire is. I want to leave that impact of belief and faith, and that like belief and faith paired with hard work is unstoppable. Like, I mean, you can always work hard, right? Can I get a head nod? Like you can always work hard. It's just that the thing that sometimes it fails us is we stop believing or our faith kind of wavers. And so I want to be an example of that, like unstoppable faith and belief. Like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but this is going to happen. And so I hope you take that from my message tonight as I'm sharing a little bit more about the mechanics. And so, you know, I have talked to Krista a little bit about business, about what you guys are working on. And I love that you guys are so focused on keeping things simple and on focusing on systems. And I always tell people, listen, it doesn't really matter what the system is as long as you use it. Like everybody thinks I'm just going to come up with a better system, or I'm going to tweak this system, or maybe if I do this system, and like so many people are trying like 5 million different systems. And I'm like, it really doesn't matter what the system is as long as you use it. So you guys have great systems. And the thing that's so good about a system is it keeps things really simple for people coming in. For example, we have almost an identical team calendar every single month. People know we're going to have 2 3-day challenges. Every Thursday night is going to be a Zoom opportunity call. Every Monday at noon is going to be our team call. And they know that sprinkled in there, we're going to have some extra special, you know, other calls. But they know what to expect. That's our calendar. A schedule is a type of system. The same thing goes for, you know, maybe like how to launch a business builder. So I just did a call today for somebody that was like, they're really revved up and ready to go. One just went fast start gold, and her mom and aunt under her just went fast start senior silver last month. And the girl that went fast start gold wants to go ruby this month, not just senior gold, but she wants to go ruby because her mom and her aunt want to go ruby next month. And so we got on this Zoom and we were talking about, okay, well, what's the system for going that fast? And I'm like, honestly, I mean, you guys want to know the system for going that fast? It'll seem so simple that you'll be like, that was really easy. I'm going to pull it up because I sent it to him in a message. Okay, here we go. Steps for fast growth. Number 1, ask everyone to do a shout out post for you. Everyone, every person you sign up. Hey, would you mind putting a little post up on Facebook, just shouting me out and just thanking me for introducing you to these products? And here's a little bit about what it's done for me. This is what your post could look like. Just throw that up with a picture of yourself, or if they have a picture of you two together, like if you're close friends, you could even use this picture. And so power of suggestion, you're suggesting a picture, you're showing them what it would look like. Ask everyone to do a shout out post for you. And granted, this is a system for someone that's telling me I want to have 100 people under me by the end of May, and they have 15 under them right now. Okay, so how many of you guys maybe have 15 people? And you're like, that could never happen. Yes, it could. Ask everyone to do a shout out post for you. Okay. Second thing, host 2 to 3 Zoom calls a day and invite people and invite your people to invite people. So I said 2 to 3 or 4 Zoom calls a day. If you're trying to create really fast momentum and you've got some people that are excited, you're getting on with 2 people here, 2 people there, 3 people here, saying, I can come back on tonight. And you can start this like domino chain of excitement. And you're doing them like every day. So the people that come the one day, you say, oh, we're going to do this again tomorrow. Who would you like to invite to come on and listen tomorrow? And you're having these small calls. So you're interacting with Rose and you're interacting with Sally. And while you're doing this Zoom call, you're saying things like, you know, you've probably thought of somebody that sounds like me. As you've heard me share my story, you know, maybe you know somebody else that struggles with migraines and can't sleep either. And then towards the end of the call, you're like, so, you know, if you've thought of anybody that could relate to my story or Sandra's story or Andre's story, if you thought of anybody, could you invite them to come back tomorrow? We're going to do another one. And so you start this chain reaction of people getting excited and all these calls. So anyways, this is the system for fast growth because we're talking about systems. So number 1 was ask everyone to do a shout out post for you. Number 2, host 2 to 3 Zoom calls a day. Some of you are probably like, how in the world can I do that? You could ask people on your team. You go to each one of your team members. I'd love to do a Zoom for you. I'd love to host something for you. I have time tomorrow at these times. Do you think we could get 2 or 3 interested friends on? You can stir the pot. And you can, like, instead of just sitting back and waiting for people to come to you and say, I want to do a Zoom, you're going to each person and saying, I really want to help some of your friends this month. I know that you know so many people that this would bless. Let's do a call tomorrow, right? Okay. Third thing, tools for fast growth, steps for fast growth. Third thing is expand your mind and idea of who to talk to each day. Expand your mind and idea of who to talk to each day. Aim for 5 to 20 messages a day. 5, whoa, that's a loud motorcycle. Sorry about that. Okay, aim for 5 to 20 messages a day, depending on your speed and how fast you want to go. These ladies want to go fast, so I was just real with them. And I said, you probably are going to need to send 20 messages a day. And you have to expand your mind and idea of who to talk to, because shake your head if you've ever gotten like stuck in this zone of the same people that you talk to, the same people that you go back to, the same people that you're waiting for. You're like, they've been saying for 6 months, I'm sure this is going to be the month. And because you have this like tunnel vision on the same 5 or 10 people, you're not seeing all of these other people that you could be talking to. Okay. And the 4th thing is focus on the why. Why will this help you and your family? What will this do for you and your life and your family? Who else can you help? What if you could make a huge impact? It's asking yourself these questions. Focus on the why every single day. Because when you're working this hard, you're messaging 5 to 20 people, you're doing 2, 3, 4 Zooms a day. You are asking every single person to do shout outs. Sometimes you're getting lots of no's on that. You can very easily be deterred. And you can be like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? It's not going the way I thought it would go. And I'm just like, focus, focus. Look at those babies. Look at my husband. Look at what I'm creating. Okay, I can keep going because I'm focusing on why I'm doing it. I'm very much attached to the heart of why I do things. And you need to be too. Okay. The last thing I said for fast growth is if you want to grow fast, do you guys do any kind of challenges? Do you do any kind of like 3-day challenges or 7-day challenges or Facebook events or anything like that, Krista? Yes. Okay. So then I was like, listen, if you want to grow fast, you need to have like 10 of you, but there's only 1 of you. So we need to utilize systems like a 3-day challenge or a 7-day challenge or a Facebook event, whatever you guys do. We need to utilize those. And every single time, if we want fast, explosive growth, we need to personally have a goal of 5 to 10 potentials in there in each challenge. Now, if you're someone that's like, I just want to grow at a slow pace, you can take all this and cut it down. But these are like the simple steps of like fast, explosive growth. And if you don't want fast, explosive growth, just take it down a notch or 2 or 3. It's just a system, just like the frog system. I know you guys have learned about the frog system. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. The frog system. If you ever come to Kauai, you'll have to stop by and see me. We're going back at the end of April. We have a lot of frogs in Kauai. Maybe that's why we called it the frog system, okay? So you all know the visual of sticking a frog in a pot of boiling water. You can't do that. It'll scald, it'll die right away. But if you stick it in and the water's real nice and you start to heat up the temperature, they don't even realize you're heating up the temperature until it's too late and you got them. It's the same thing with getting people to start to share. So I was just coaching somebody earlier today, and this particular person has 150 points, and she's feeling really frustrated because she doesn't have anybody that wants to do the business. Has anybody ever said that? I don't have anybody that wants to do the business. Translation, nobody's knocking on my door saying, I want to do the business with you. How many people have had somebody come to them and say that? I have never had anyone come to me and say that. Can you believe that? I've never had anyone like knocking on my door. I want to do the business with you. Okay. So when you say to me, if I was coaching and you say, I just don't have anybody that wants to do the business with me, my first response is going to be, how deep do you know them? How deep do you know them? And when I asked her that, she's like, I mean, I don't really know them that well. Like, I don't really know what their pain points are, what's going on in their life, what's hard for them. And I was like, well, because you don't really know them, you don't have the key to their heart. Like, you don't have the key to anybody's heart unless you get in there and you're willing to deepen the relationship and get to know somebody better. And so if you're searching for somebody to do the business, just think, I've got to find the key to their heart. Like, what's the key to their heart? What's the thing that they want the most? Oh, they want more time with their baby girl. Oh, they want to retire and travel the country with their husband. Oh, they want to get out of this crippling debt. Oh, they can't stand their job. It's especially gotten hard this last year and it's just sucking the life out of them. You won't know that unless you get in there and you start developing a deeper relationship with them. So how do you do this? Well, you message them more often. Maybe one day you're like, hey, can I give you a call? And you just talk about life and you talk about how things are going and you just get to know what's going on in their life. And then you start to talk about, plexus and how this could be an answer to the thing that they're struggling with. And that's literally the way that I've gotten everybody to do a business with me. Is I get to know them. So I have some keys to their heart. And then I'm able to go in there and be like, I know you don't see yourself as somebody that could do this. I know you think that it means you have to be good at sales and like you don't want to be that girl on Facebook, but you trust me, right? You know me, right? Like, am I that girl? Did I bug you? No. Well, you don't have to do it that way either. And so we have a real conversation about how this could be a solution to their problem. But the only way that happens is because I go deeper with them. So when you find yourself saying, I just don't have anybody that wants to do the business, ask yourself, have I gotten in deep enough with this person? Do I know them well enough? Do I know what things they don't like in their life and what things they want to change? But also when we're talking about the frog system, what we're talking about here is recently, for example, we're talking about getting them to just get one person to start with them, right? Just like one person. And you're setting a new standard for your team, which is like nobody starts alone. Nobody gets left behind. Nobody starts alone. Nobody, like everybody that starts Plexus, and you can even say this in your conversation. So everybody that starts Plexus with me picks a partner to start with, or everybody that starts Plexus with me finds a buddy to do this with, or everybody that starts Plexus with me has somebody come along with them because they want to get results. And the number one thing you need to get results is accountability. Who's that person going to be? Who's going to start with you? Okay. And so you're getting them to dip their little pinky toe in by getting one person. Another way, like one of the girl I signed up yesterday, the way that I talked about it with her is I was on the phone, because I always sign people up on the phone. It's the system. You sign them up on the phone. Okay. Frog system. I got to just sprinkle it in there for them. So we're talking, and I have decided that confidence is so key. And on my run a couple days ago, I was getting towards the end of my run, and I thought, wow, it is the bomb that Plexus is so confident in their products that they will give somebody $375 this month for signing up and having 3 people like sign up with them. That is some serious confidence. So what I said on the phone to her yesterday is I said, you know, I'm super excited for you to get started. I know you're going to love this. By now, she's already really excited for herself. And I said, you know what else? Plexus is so confident in their products, and they know that people love their products and get great results with their products. And because they are so confident, for a new person like yourself, when you sign up and have 3 friends sign up with a similar pack, you get $375 cash. That's $375 you can use towards your products or just for like whatever you want. Simply because we're so confident we stand behind our products 1000%. Is there anyone that you could think of that could fill one of those 3 spots? And it's like, she was like, oh, wow. Because like the way I said it was like, wow, that actually is really amazing. They must really believe in their products. These products really must be amazing. If this company is willing to give me $375 cash, there's no way these products aren't going to work for my mom. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to see my mom tonight. I'm going to tell my mom about it. She downloaded the Engage app. She sent her 3 samples. She's for sure going silver. I didn't ask her to do a business with me because that would be like putting the frog in the pot of boiling water. I'm just putting her in a nice, cozy jacuzzi, and she's just going to love it swimming around in that $375. And, and then, you know, once she gets her 3 this week, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, that was so fun. So, you know, it'd be really fun to get these 3 on a Zoom call so I can help them get started on their products and just give them a couple of tips and pointers, just like I've done with you. And is there anybody else that maybe you want to invite to come onto this Zoom call that could learn about gut health? I know you mentioned your other friend. Like, I'm literally going to try to get a Zoom call going with her to get another 3 people, get her up to 6. Then I get her to 6, and I'm only 4 people away from 10. Now, mind you, like in the process of this, I'm a big believer in the 3-way message system, which if you've taken any of our trainings, you understand why. It's because I wouldn't expect Alyssa that I just signed up yesterday to know anything to say or anything to do, but I know. And so I told Alyssa, I said, Alyssa, why don't we FaceTime when you go see your mom? Just go ahead and call me back up and we'll FaceTime with your mom. And then we could do a text or a phone call with your sisters, because she was talking about her sisters. We could do a text or a phone call with your sisters anytime. I'm happy to help and answer questions and help them get the help that they need. And that's a form of a 3-way message, right? Is a phone call or a FaceTime or a 3-way message. I'm offering that because when I'm starting them, guess what I'm going to say to them? It's a system. I'm going to say the exact same thing. You know what, Stella? Plexus is so confident in their products. We know they work. I mean, that's why we have the bomb, like money back guarantee. But on top of that, we just know that people fall in love with our products. And so when you start with 3 people, you're going to get $375 cash. And that's cash you can use on products or just for whatever you want to in life. Go buy a great pair of shoes. I don't know what you like, Stella, whatever you like, you can use that for. But we have so much confidence in our products. And this is normally what people do. They just go ahead and take advantage of that. So can you think of anybody? And so I'm helping Stella get +1, and I'm helping Nicole get +1. And so she's gone senior silver. So that's my goal. But that frog system is like, it's just that gentle introduction of sharing when you're signing someone up. And you can use the confidence method like I shared with you, or you can use some other verbiage that you guys use when you're signing somebody up, but it's a system. And the reason it comes off of my mouth so quickly and so easily is why.
You do it all the time.
Because I just do it all the time.
Mm.
I don't even have to think about it. It's just second nature. And if you've been struggling with making something second nature, you've been struggling to make things happen, I promise you, it's just that you need repetition. You just need more practice. And you'll get it down. I didn't sound like this coming out of the plexus womb. I sounded really awkward, and I talked like way too long, and I'd leave like 15 minutes of voice messages that like nobody had time to listen to. But it was just over and over and over to have that confidence to be able to say that. So I want to encourage you guys, because your team is so good at using systems, to lean into those systems. And just, if you think they don't work for you, it's okay to put your own little tweak and your own personality in them. But I promise, like, any system could work for you if you just use it. And here's one more quick thing that I'll say about that. This is a funny story. Is a couple years ago, I had a Ruby ambassador that like did one of our challenges. Back then we were doing 7-day challenges, and she messaged me during the challenge, and she's like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. Like, this content is so amazing. I don't know what you did to change it, but it's like so good. And I have like 4 girls in here, and they all want to join. And I was just laughing inside because we hadn't changed anything. It's just the first time she decided to use the system. Like, she was really doing, she had done the invites that we had suggested. She'd put them into the group and tagged them like we suggested. She was following up like we suggested, and she was actually reading the post. So she knew what we were doing. And it was just a testament to me that, like, listen, these things work if you'll show up and work them. If you'll show up and work the system. And it's repetition, 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 consistency, consistency, consistency. Building a business of any kind, whether it's Plexus or something else, takes a lot of effort, and even like 10 times the amount of faith. And so I would just encourage you guys to focus on your faith and focus on your belief, and know that anything can change for you. This year alone, we had last month, my level 5, Emily's level 4 went emerald, and a year ago she had 120 points. And she'd had like that kind of points for a couple years. And she, like, her points just skyrocketed this last year. And so really, truly, when we say anything can happen, we mean it. But I would add to that, anything can happen for the faithful. Not just anything can happen. Anything can happen for the faithful. Pay your dues, put in the work, and have a lot of faith. And you can be an emerald, a diamond, a double diamond, a triple diamond, a whatever you want to be. There's no pre-qualification. It doesn't matter how old you are, what race you are, what country you live in. Like, none of that stuff matters. In what other industry could you do that? Nothing. So big, big faith, big, big action, and utilize the great trainings and systems that you guys have here. I don't know if I...
Yes, you did amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. So much great detail too. And I love that somebody said in the chat, my coach uses all these same approaches, and that would be Tanya Bostic, because she has taken your momentum script system. So she definitely, you know, has all the same language. So she's using it with her people. So it's a ripple effect, right? Going down, it just goes out and out and out. So it starts at the top. So it starts with you doing the systems, and then from there your team gets on to doing the systems too. So I just absolutely love that, Brooke. Thank you so much. You added so many key points. There was a question too Monique had about when you're talking 10 to using 10 to 12, what did you say, Monique? How'd you say that again? Maybe.
It was like 5 to 20 messages. I'm going to copy my little list here from this message I sent. Let me do that real quick for you.
And
Yeah,
are
I
you
was just wondering.
doing personal reach outs, or does it depend on where you're at in the system with your, building that relationship with people?
So when I say 5 to 20 messages, I don't mean that every single one of those messages is asking them about plexus. It can be just reconnecting with someone, and you happen to like see their post come up on Instagram or Facebook, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to add them to my list. I haven't really talked to this person in a couple of years. So I just might be like, oh my goodness, Nicole, your post came up in my feed. I didn't realize you'd had another baby. How are you feeling? Congratulations. It's just like starting that conversation.
Right. Yeah. So talking to 10 to 12 people at a time.
Yes.
Okay. So the other thing too is your Zooms. How do you maintain time on them? Because sometimes people can talk for you can spend 2 hours on a Zoom. How do you maintain a short amount of time? Because you're so busy too. And, so how do you keep that to a minimum?
So the thing that I've had to do is I've had to monitor myself, because I set the pace for the call. So if I am hosting a call, I have some that'll go over, like the longest they ever are nowadays is 40 minutes, but literally I can do a prospect Zoom in 20 to 30 minutes. And it takes repetition. The less practice you have, the longer they are. So the more practice you do, the more you learn how to pare it down. But also one way to make it shorter is to not talk about everything. So before you do a Zoom, if you know you're doing a Zoom for Stella, for example, you say, Stella, who's coming and what are their top health goals? Oh, okay, so somewhere in there, I need to hit hormones, migraines, sleep issues, and weight loss. So I'm going to focus what I'm talking about around those things. Not so it's like so obvious they know, but like it's going to save me talking about the skincare. It's going to save me talking about poop problems because they're not really, so I'm going to be able to hone it down because I can be more specific, but also you have to be aware of who you're asking to speak and you have to prepare them. So when I ask somebody to speak, I'm very clear, like you have 4 minutes to share your story. And if you're nervous about it, I want you to practice that today. Just set your timer and practice it and make some bullet points for yourself so that you can stay on track. So I kind of like train people and prepare them so they know they don't get 9 or 10 minutes.
I love that. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so we'll do one last question. How do you track all these messages? Because sometimes when people are moving really fast, they've got a lot of 3 ways going. What's your system for that?
So for personal contacts that I'm talking to on Instagram, I flag the messages. So you can flag your messages if you're not sure how to do that on Instagram. All you do is you slide left on the message and you'll choose more and then you'll choose flag. And it'll put like this little yellow mark. And then you can actually just look at only flagged messages on Instagram. So I can keep my prospects or potentials or hot 20 or whatever, I can keep those flagged. And I'll do that even for people that are like potentials that I want to pay more close attention to. I'll flag any of my messages with them, like even if it's just that I'm commenting on their stories, because it keeps them kind of like in a different file. I also am just a big believer in using my planner. I write down names in my planner. So at the beginning of every month and the beginning of every week, I think about who is it that I really want to focus on this week, like relationship wise, and that month, like, and then I'll just add to that as I meet new people. And so I can always go back. My planner is kind of sort of like a journal. If I'm ever feeling like a dry streak, I can just turn the pages back and be like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to Monica in 3 months. We were talking about the triplex, but I totally forgot to follow up with her, because you'll forget people that you don't think you would forget. Some people I know love to use a whiteboard, and they have a whiteboard next to their desk and it'll just like have the names. And so when they're working, they can just look at the whiteboard and be like, have I talked to Jessica lately? No. Okay, I need to talk to Jessica. So some people are spreadsheet people. I'm not a spreadsheet person. I am like a pen to paper in my planner, and then I flag them on Instagram. And also at least once a week, I scroll back quite a ways through my messages, and I can find stale 3-ways. I can find dead 3-ways. It just takes like intentionally scheduling that into your planner. So you can call that like follow-up time or 3-way message follow-up time. If you have a lot going on in your business where at least once or twice a week, you're just scrolling back and you're like, ooh, that person hasn't signed up. Let me go back into that message. You know what? I think they could use another story, or maybe they just need a sample, and you can get things going again.
Right. And Monique wants to know, do you just use Instagram or are you still using, Messenger, Monique?
I use both.
You use both. Okay.
Yeah, I sign people up from Facebook and from Instagram. For me, it's like 50-50. And then also just like people I meet, because I start a lot of conversations.
Okay.
So I was in coaching this other person that was feeling like her network was kind of dry. And I asked her, well, tell me about your life. Like, what does your daily life look like? And she's like, well, we're getting back to sports. We're going to, we're allowed to go to kids' sporting things now. And I'm like, are there a lot of other parents around, or are parents not allowed to come? Because in some places, parents aren't allowed to come. But where she is, parents are back in the stands. Things are going on. And so I was like, okay, well, now you can start talking to parents and you can start making friends. And then I said, tell me about your exercise situation. Do you go to a gym? And she's like, actually, I was thinking about joining a gym. I'm like, okay, well, tomorrow I want you to go and join a gym. Like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, find yourself a gym tomorrow. Go join that gym and you be chatty Cathy on the treadmills with the people next to you and in the weight room. And you're going to make new friends and you're going to find them on social media. And those are going to be your new potentials.
That's right. Yep. Keep that funnel full.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to take up any more of your time. But when is your next momentum movement happening? Do you have that scheduled yet?
Yeah, so we're doing a live event. I'd been wanting to do a live event for quite a while. Live events are my favorite thing ever. I don't know if anybody here went to a line in Palm Springs when I did that like a year and a half ago. There's nothing like it. It's so much fun, so much energy. You can learn so much like in 1 or 2 days, just like packed together. It's more of an immersive experience. I believe in immersion. Anytime I've gone to an event that's been immersion based, whether it's been a mastermind or a big conference I've gone to, I have so many breakthroughs and so many, I leave like on fire and with all these tools and all these ideas. And I literally always grow my business a ton after I go to anything. So I was like, you know what? I think virtual is great, but I think we need to do something live. So we are doing a live event, which I know can't work for everybody, but if it works for you and you want to come to sunny Florida, we're doing it in Fort Lauderdale. And we're doing it a Wednesday and a Thursday. It's Wednesday, June 23rd and Thursday, June 24th. And it's going to be a full day. And we're going to get up close and personal. And we're going to like give you like all of us for, a couple of days. And it's going to be incredible. So if you can make it, and then you could even stay if you wanted to, or you can fly right home Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. But we'd love to have you, and it'd be super fun to just see you and hug you and train you in person and let you ask your questions real time.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brooke. So appreciate it. I know you're super busy, but to take time out for us, that just shows how big your heart is. And I think it's a model that we all, are striving to do, is just to be the very best that we can for Plexus and what we have to offer for people. And so you certainly just exemplify that for us. And we just really have so much gratitude for that. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me share. And thank you for letting me pour some belief into you tonight. I just know that somebody here needs to hear that they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That like, if I can do it while having babies and nursing babies and homeschooling, and my husband worked 80 to 90 hours the first 3 years of this business. So I legitimately was doing it on my own and managing all these kids and homeschooling and not sleeping enough and working way too much and like totally out of balance and like all of these things. Like it was like crazy. But I look back on it and I'm like, that was worth everything. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything. And if I can go from not knowing how to tag somebody on Facebook to what I'm doing now, you can do this. You can do this. So thank you, you guys.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. You guys all have a great, great week, and we'll see you back on the team page as we go along through the week. So take care, everybody.
Thank you,
so much.
everybody.
Thank you,
Bye.
Brooke.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Thank you, everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thanks,
Have a
everybody.
good
That was
one.
a great
Have
call.
faith.
Yes, have faith. Have big faith.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.